Hello, Principal Grant Kleinert here in the high school. First and foremost, I hope that everyone is safe and enjoying your break here through March 27th, which will end very shortly on Friday. I want to take some time today and discuss Hayfield's distant learning plan that will go into effect March 30th for the foreseeable future, and kind of discuss what parents, what students, what teachers can expect learning to look like in a distance learning environment for the foreseeable future. As you recall, Governor Walz a couple weeks ago gave teachers 3 days last week and all of this week to prepare for distant learning, with distant learning to go into effect March 30th. And I'm going to explain in a little bit what distance learning looks like, but it will go into effect March 30th. For how long, we don't know. That is the governor's directive. But our teachers have been working very diligently on putting together a plan that's going to be effective for our students. Before I begin talking about distant learning, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that we all would much rather be learning face-to-face. We miss you in the building. The building is very quiet. We miss interacting with students on a daily basis. We miss talking about how their days are. We miss talking about what they're doing. We miss the activities of our normal routine, and hopefully we will get back to that very shortly. But for the meantime, we will continue with distant learning to make sure everybody gets an education that they deserve. I want to reiterate the fact that I've been overly impressed with our teachers and their ability to be creative, think outside the box, and implement distant learning in such a short amount of time. We understand, teachers understand, I understand that this will be different, but we are committed to making this work for all students. With that being said, I want to share my screen with you here and give you the ability to kind of see a PowerPoint in which I'm going to be going through here. So you should see this. Here we go. So distance or flexible learning, what's it going to look like? I kind of want to take some time, go through the ins and outs, and explain what distance learning is. This plan and this video is going to be communicated via email, via the school website, and it will be linked on the school's Facebook and YouTube channels as well for everybody to look at as just an introduction to what distance learning will look like and what school in the high school will look like in Hayfield starting March 30th. Before I get there, just want a few reminders. The high school office will be open 7:30 to 3:30 Monday through Friday, anytime we have school. Parents can drop things off as needed in the high school office. You need to enter through the main entrance, like it would be the normal school day. That's the only entrance open to the building right now. I also want to highlight that students are not allowed in the building for any academic purposes whatsoever, anything for education. So parents are the ones that will need to be dropping things off, and this is for student safety as part of the district's COVID-19 plans and protocol. So as I mentioned, we will begin flexible or distance learning starting March 30th, and for how long we don't know. That's per the governor's directive. But what is distance learning or flexible learning? We are providing students meaningful learning with daily interactions with teachers, and that daily interaction may be via email, maybe a phone, maybe video conferencing, maybe Moodle, a variety of ways in which students will be interacting with their teachers to get content. Now, some districts have been doing e-learning, and e-learning is essentially when we have a snow day. Many districts have been doing e-learning. Hayfield has not been one of those districts, but there is a staunch difference between e-learning and distance learning. E-learning is just a daily activity or a day-to-day thing during a snow day. Distance learning is going to be continued education for a long duration of time online. And how's that going to look? And it looks a little different than maybe what we would do or what other schools would do during a snow day. One, your students are going to be getting whole units of instruction, chapters, units. It'll be like we are starting fourth quarter on March 30th. They will get daily student interaction, as I mentioned above, in a variety of platforms. And the district needs to take attendance. And I'll talk about attendance a little later, but student attendance will be tracked via Moodle Analytics and their logins with Moodle. Student days will have structure, but we are practicing student flexibility in the learning day. We understand families and our high school students have many obligations. It's kind of an all hands on deck approach here for many families and students in the district as we go through these unknown times. We understand that, and we are going to be more than flexible during this time to make sure students get an education and balance the needs that they need to at home as well. So that is the purpose of distant learning. In the high school, I'm incredibly thankful that we have the resources that we have to implement this with pretty much ease. This is our 6th year of being one-to-one in the high school. Students are incredibly comfortable with technology usage. We are going to be using Moodle, which we've been using as our platform for years, and Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a function that already exists in students' email. Many of our classes have already been using it throughout the duration of the school year. And Teams allows students and teachers to connect via video conferencing or voice calls via their email account. It's an absolute wonderful tool to help facilitate face-to-face communication with students and teachers. It'll be something that'll be highly utilized in distance learning. And it is something that many students, particularly some junior high students, are very accustomed with and have used already. But the biggest thing is I am very confident in our students' abilities to implement distant learning with their technology and their savviness in using technology, just based on the district's past of using technology and being a one-to-one district for as long as we have been. Now, we understand there are students in the district that do not have internet. And I want to highlight, I believe we've called all these families to communicate this, but if you have not received this message, LTD Broadband is offering 60 days free Wi-Fi for our free and reduced lunch families to help this process of distance learning and to make sure that no one is disadvantaged. If you qualify for that, you can call LTD Broadband or you can call the high school office and we'll get you connected to set you up with that free Wi-Fi for our free and reduced lunch families. If you still do not have Wi-Fi and are not interested in that, student information, worksheets, notes, etc. will be delivered to your house Monday through Thursday in a special weatherproof packet. It's important that those assignments are returned promptly and you meet the due dates as need be. That packet needs to be outside your doorstep at 11 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and that will be picked up when our vans go out and deliver meals and other needs that our students have during this time. Students without internet are asked to utilize teacher office hours. Call your teacher and your individual extension, and those numbers will be shared in an email that everyone will be getting. And teachers will be expected to reach out via phone and other means as needed to stay connected with these students who do not have internet. And we understand that there are probably going to be slightly different academic expectations put in place for students without internet. And we are not going to put you at a disadvantage simply because you do not have internet. But I want to communicate that there is a plan in place to give you a proper education and hold you accountable to the content in a slightly different format. Student expectations. What can students expect when we start distance learning on March 30th? I'm going to say this a lot during the video. First and foremost, I know Mr. Bartley put this up on the Twitter page and the Facebook earlier this morning. Students, please check your email and your Moodle accounts. Teachers are reaching out to you with content and material. Please look at them. Begin to get prepared for what your classroom and what your classes will look like starting on Monday. The expectation is that you check your email on a daily basis, multiple times a day. That is how that is how teachers are going to push out that information for you. They're going to push it out via email, via Moodle and Teams, and those need to get checked daily. Students need to complete all tasks as assigned by their teacher. These will be posted daily in the platform of the teacher's choosing, which will be communicated. All district guidelines for technology are still in place, even though you may be learning from home. And a big part of this announcement is that we will no longer be having the ABCD calendar during distance learning. Every day in distance learning will be an E-day, and that is simply for simplicity. We will have every hour, 1 through 8, every day. And you will have assignments from those teachers every day. Students, teachers will have office hours, and office hours is a time in which you will be allowed to contact them. Those office hours for your class are set up during your class hour. Now, that doesn't mean you can't reach out to them outside of your designated hour, but that hour is set aside for you if you need to communicate with questions or anything in regards to assignments, what the expectation is, any of those things on those assignments. Please reach out. Communicate if you don't know. And that can be via email, video conferencing, phone, or other means. But reach out. Attendance. Obviously, as I mentioned in the last slide, a part of distance learning is we have to take attendance. Attendance will be taken via Moodle Analytics, and your teachers will report that to the office. So if you've not logged into Moodle, you will be marked for attendance, and that'll be referred to the office, and we'll be in communication if it becomes problematic or assignments are not being done in a timely manner. Parents, you need to call the high school office if your child is ill or if you have an appointment, just like you would during normal protocol, and those absences will be reported accordingly. So attendance, make sure you're logging into Moodle, make sure you're logging in your email and checking what you need to be checked and doing the assignments that you need to do during this time of distance learning. The big question turns to grades. What will grades look like during this time of distant learning? The grading system will remain in place, and teachers will be responsible for updating the gradebook in a timely manner as they always are. Assessments will occur, formative assessments and summative assessments. A reminder, parents, formative assessments are more homework-based. Summative assessments are tests, quizzes, projects. Now, assessments will continue to occur. They just may look in a different format. Summative assessments, especially tests and quizzes, may have a different format in distance learning than they would face-to-face. Big announcement on the last bullet point on this slide. Due to the disruption that we've had for second semester and the movement to distant learning, there will be no final assessments. That means no finals given for any second semester classes, with the exception of our college and the schools courses. And that is because we have to follow Riverland's guidance for college and the schools. But there will be no finals for second semester, which means a student's grade for second semester will be the average of Q3 grades and the average of Q4 grades. And a reminder that Q3 ended last Monday, our last day of face-to-face school, and Q4 will start on Monday, March 30th, when we start distant learning. Teacher expectations, as I mentioned before, what can we expect for teachers? They will be available during the duration of the school day, 7:30 to 3:30. This includes our guidance counselor and our social worker for those students who need assistance in those areas. Mrs. Connolly, Mrs. Hanson will be available to you. Teachers will be available 7:30 to 3:30 for their office hours. Your class is scheduled during your class, but you can feel free to reach out anytime during the school day. If you reach out after school hours, post 3:30, teachers are expected to give a response within 24 hours or the next school day in regards to your questions. Again, I'm going to highlight the importance of communicating with teachers. If you do not know something, if you're unsure of what the expectation is, please reach out to teachers via phone, via email, via video conferencing. They will be available to answer questions. This is a new endeavor for everybody. It is a new endeavor for teachers. It's a new endeavor for you as students and parents. It's important that we walk through that and make sure we all are doing what's best for everybody, so everybody gets the education that they deserve. Special education. If you have a student in special education, they will continue to receive their services as stated in their IEP. All modifications laid out in the IEP or 504 will continue to occur in distance learning. Our special education teachers have been working hard to communicate with parents and families in regards to what their individual classes will look like and what some necessary modifications will be for distant learning. If you have additional questions in regards to your child's education and your child's IEP as it pertains to special education, those questions should be directed to your case manager or Mrs. Hartman. Lastly, I want to reiterate one more time, check your email and Moodle daily. This is very important. Many teachers have been sending things out this week as kind of a practice run for what distance learning will begin on March 30th. And again, distance learning starts March 30th. How long it goes, we don't know. Obviously, the events of COVID-19 are still rapidly evolving, and we really don't know. We're at the governor's directive as to how long we are going to continue to do distance learning. Obviously, our number one priority is your safety. But continue to check your emails and Moodle daily as we work through this. Secondly, we got this. I'm incredibly proud of our staff, and I'm going to be incredibly proud of our students and the way that we handle this. Minnesota is far ahead of the curve in regards to what we are doing for providing an education to our students. And with the resources allocated by this district, I am very excited to see how distance learning plays out. Our teachers have been working hard, and I know our students will respond in the same way starting March 30th. I'm incredibly proud of all of us. Lastly, continue to social distance. Wash your hands, practice good hygiene, do those things. That's incredibly important. The sooner, if we can practice all those things, the social distancing, washing our hands, the sooner we can get back with face-to-face learning and our normal lives as they take hold during the school day and the school year. And I think that's what we all want is a return to normal. So continue to do those things. Continue to take care of yourselves. And again, one last time, check your email, check your Moodle for all assignments as teachers are starting to lay these things out. If you have questions in regards to an individual class, please make sure you connect with the teacher. If you have questions in regard to anything else, please reach out to the high school office. Again, I want to thank you for your time today. I'm incredibly proud of the work that's being done in Hayfield by our teachers and students, and I look forward to what's to come with distance learning. Again, be well and be safe. Thank you.